7 reasons why millions of Americans have stopped going to church. In the last 25 years, 40 million Americans have stopped going to church. That represents 12% of the entire population. It's the biggest attendance shift ever recorded, and it's not just about religious institutions. Society itself is part of the equation. 1. American society leaves no room for church. Today's America is not about community. The system revolves around individual success. If it doesn't boost your or your children's career, why bother? 87% of American employees are disengaged at work. This translates to detachment from various aspects of life, namely religious participation. Lack of time is another problem. These days, our lives are like rubber bands, stretched so thin, they're about to snap. The church can feel like another item on a checklist, and when there's no time, you simply skip it. 2. People are looking for diverse pathways to spirituality. The reality is that Americans are far from being non-spiritual. 3 in 4 of them identify with a specific faith. They're simply redefining the concept of spiritual life. Traditional religious settings are on the decline, but non-traditional ones are on the rise. Some Americans prefer talking to chaplains. Some form online communities that turn into real-life friendships. Others join social justice groups rooted in shared faith. 3. The church is grappling with a leadership crisis. There are 3 leadership-related things driving churchgoers away: clergy abuse, cover-ups, and fundamentalist preachers. Millions of Americans believe in Jesus, but they don't want to connect with him in that kind of setting. 4. Religious pluralism is also a factor. This trend is as simple as it gets. Americans have more choices today. Credit this to social change, the internet, or immigration. Interfaith interactions are very common nowadays, and so are interfaith marriages. America was once a Christian country. Now it's arguably the world's most religiously diverse nation. 5. Contemporary worship has failed. In recent decades, mainline churches have been trying to be something they're not. They've dabbled in praise bands, screens, praise music, etc., but the response hasn't been positive. Of course, there are a few exceptions. We're talking about churches that already have a modern setting and budget. 6. Phony advertising is disappointing. Many churches promote the idea that everyone can come to Jesus, but when people show up, they notice a lack of diversity. The ads are shouting, "Everyone is welcome here," but what they're really saying is, "Only if you fit the traditional family mold." 7. Gen Z is America's least religious generation. 34% of Gen Zers have no religious affiliation. 18% identify themselves as atheists or agnostics. Obviously, the church is not their area of interest. It probably won't be in the future either. Here's one last fact for you. Every year, 4,000 to 7,000 American churches shut down. They're not going completely extinct anytime soon. But what's happening today goes beyond a mere transition.